has produced a some very fine results throughout all the different destinations where I have applied it. One of my my fellow fishermen took it to Chile as well, and had some very good results with it over there. And originally, this pattern is made from is made in America. So well, it has produced worldwide. It's a fairly simple pattern. I'm gonna use some copper flash, some fly ride in light olive, some partridge for the hackle, and then finally some SLF squirrel dub. Well, and that's basically it. First of all, we need to take a couple of Flashabou, or yeah, Flashabou will do nicely. Flashabou fibers, I'm gonna take around 5 or 6 in copper. If you have in pearl, I think pearl will probably be nice as well, but copper is the color I prefer for this pattern. And I'm gonna tie these down so they will lie directly on top of the hook. I'm tying fairly long, fairly far down on the hook size. On the hook, this is a Tiemco hook. It's called 2457, and as always, I have taken out the barb, because when we fish for trout, we don't want the barb there, because that will make a quick release fairly much more difficult. Okay, so far so good. As you can see, I've also applied a nymph head from fly fishermen. These nymph heads are made from tungsten, which is a fantastic material for nymphs, because it will get your fly where the trout feeds ASAP, which is in most waters crucial. Of course, you can tie this if you're fishing in very shallow water. You can tie this fly without the head, or if it's medium depths, you can of course just apply a regular brass head. In my box, I have both without any weight. Then I have with brass, and then I have with the tungsten, because the different fishing situations require often different types of weighting on the fly. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of building up the body here. And what I want this to be, I want this to be tapered, so that it's thin at the back of the fly, at the tail of the fly, and then it gets gradually thicker and thicker and thicker up towards the tungsten's bead. Like so. And if you're applying a moderate amount of dubbing each time you turn, then your chances of succeeding in making this body as near to perfect as you want it is fairly greater. So apply dubbing multiple times instead of just applying it once, if you want your fly to have the right proportions. Well, at least that's how I have to do it to make sure I get the result I'm aiming for. Taking a small amount of dubbing here, up here. You want this to cover, well, a bit more than 2/3 of your body. You want to be covered in this green dubbing. Use green, use olive, use, well, whatever you have at hand. Then I'm taking all these flesh strands except for one, and then I'm laying these as a single strand all the way up over the body of the fly, cutting these off, and I'm using the last strand as ribbing. Like so. Oh, that was actually 2 strands I see now. Well, that doesn't matter. Cutting those 2 off, and there you have it. This is also why it's called flesh bag, because you have this strand of flesh going down. along the back of this fly. Then I'm taking my partridge feather, and as I always do with the partridge feather, I'm pulling all the materials as far back as I can, because I want to tie this in at the tip of the feather like this, to take advantage of especially the shortest of this partridge feather's fibers, like so. Turning this up here, this will imitate some legs and stuff like that. Turning this 1, maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't want to turn this hackle too many times because I don't want to have all the very long fibers here, all the very long hackle fibers. I just want the hackle fibers that are of the right length, and the further down you go on a hackle like this, the longer the fibers get. So like that. Cutting this off, taking everything and pulling it backwards. And as you can see now, I have this, not many fibers, but well, a fly like a nymph like this don't have many legs, so this works as intended. So, and the final touch of the fly is taking some of this very nice dubbing. This squirrel is lift up. The reason why this works so great for nymphs is because there is a lot of different length and a variety of different textures in this dubbing. A lot of different hairs goes into this dubbing, which makes it ideal for nymphs, because a lot of this will stand out and give this fly a kind of rocket and a bit a rough look that Trout seems to go for. One of the cool stuff about especially these nymph heads from Flyman is that there is a small extending bulb on these, which actually are meant to imitate eyes, and makes it easier if you have some varnish, some colored varnish, to make a small eye on your fly. This looks very neat. And looks good on any fly. So if you have some black varnish or some red varnish, or you want to spice things up a bit, you just take that and apply to the small extension on these tungsten beads. You can see it is done on this package on the red head here. They've used yellow to highlight. I don't think that combination looks especially good, but that was just to show you how they meant it to be, which is kind of awesome. And for the final touch, you can take your scissors and just pull out a small amount of this dubbing to give it that furry look, which looks great for both you and the trout. There you have it. The Flashback Nymph. Great for any fish that swims in still water or running water. That eat nymphs, of course. Those were the words. Thank you very much.